Mm-mm-mm. Good morning. Welcome to the Smart Life Club. This is the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vickie Helm. Welcome to today's show. Today's show is going to be more of a serious conversation. If you're new here, this is the Coffee Break Show. You're in the Smart Life Club. If you're new, do me a favor, put your name down below, or better yet, hit this top link over here that says StreamYard/Facebook. And what will happen is you can push a button. It'll give me permission to see your name. Today is an important day as we're talking about what it is that is happening in the world. And do you know what current events are here and what you're going to do and hang out about them? I just want to say good morning to people. I see you jumping on. Good morning. I hear hi, friends. Good morning. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Smart. Good morning, everybody jumping on. Today is a more serious conversation. If you are watching this show after it's happened, do me a favor and put hashtag replay in there. Good morning. Love your haircut. Oh my gosh, thank you. But who is that is loving my haircut? Because it says Facebook user. So jump up here and hit that link there that says StreamYard/Facebook and push the button that says I get permission to see your name. Until then, somebody jump on and tell me who that was. Good morning, Robin. Nice to see you guys on. Listen, today I want to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart right now. You know, I've been doing these coffee break shows for a couple of years. Kathy Mason, nice to see you. Nice to see you on. I've been doing these shows for a couple of years. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you popping on. Good morning, Donald. Thank you for digging her haircut, Kathy Mason. You know, it got a little bit of the shaggy DA, and I just had somebody clean it up, and she kind of maybe cut it a little short, but I figure in a couple of weeks it'll be there. So what I want to talk about today is the events that are going on in the world. And there's a lot of them, especially yesterday. We had earthquakes all over the place. We obviously have this coronavirus. There's starting to be pictures of all of the countries that have empty shelves because the food is being bought up. And if we look at the world right now, it's tumultuous. It is in a tumultuous, uncertain state. The markets are going up and down, all of them. I mean, with the crypto market, stock markets, up and down, up and down. There's volatility in the way we're living today. There's a lot of it. And when there's a lot of volatility, it takes a little more discernment to find your way around in the world. And I really want to talk about those kinds of discernments. Hey, Sean, cheers, my buddy. This is where all the coffee outlaws hang out and we get together and we have some fun. Nice to see you on. Good morning, Marie Jo. Nice to see you. Hello, hello, hello. I really want to get clear about the things that I'm watching, the things that I'm doing, and how I am growing my business and how I'm growing my conversations as well. Right now, if you look at what the masses have been going through, they're grieving in the United States for Kobe Bryant and his daughter's death in that tragic helicopter accident. People are very concerned and watching how, or the lack of cutting off the borders from Chinese people being able to fly in. As this morning, there were still people able to fly in from China, even though there's bans. 60 million people right now have lost their freedom. They're not able to go out to work. They're not able to leave their homes. They're not able to get gas. They're not able to drive. And never before in history have we had a country that is quarantined, a whole country that's quarantined. And so what's happening in the world right now is unprecedented. So we've had this earthquakes going on in Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico, good morning, everyone. I'm Barb. Nice to see you. Made it for the live today. I'm so excited. Thank you. Nilu, nice to see you on. Welcome from Canada. Thank you so much. I know this is kind of going on around the world, but we're going to, have a friendly talk today. So what happens is when the world is absolutely in this volatile state, it's not that we don't pay attention or we don't say to ourselves, I'm higher than this, therefore I'm going to hold a different consciousness and pretend. Remember, what I focus on, that's the thing that grows. We have to look at what's happening. We have to be in the now. Now, your mindset in the now is still yours. You get to have and keep your mindset right now in the same place. And remember, the mindset can only do two things, right? Your mindset's either going to impair you or empower you, and that's it. Impair you or empower you. What we're looking at now in biblical proportions looks interesting because economically we're teetering. We know that the debt bubble is going to burst. We know that we have solar minimum right now, and we've lost more crops than plagues, than pestilence and crop loss. Our food shortages are at biblical proportions right now. And people are going to be fighting over the prices of inflation for food that's coming in. I know that fires have been raging. They raged California, and then they hopped the continent and went to Australia. And Australia has been big on fire. And of course, we have this political debate, this political, impeachment. Now, I'm not going to talk about politics. I want to talk about what you can do, what we can do individually to maintain some sanity while we're in this turbulence. We know that technology is moving faster than ever before, and we're moving from kind of SaaS and algorithms to now AI. Things are in transition. Everything is in transition right now. And you know what? Some of it doesn't look fun to go through. Some of it is absolutely alarming to look at. Some of it has many outcomes that are going to be permanent changes in the world. I want to say hello, and let's see. Karen put a Washington Post article up for the coronavirus. Scott says, then there are these bugs, the Guardian Gallery and the billions of locusts that have been literally eating all of everything. We have locusts and pestilence and fires and burning. Good morning. Book of Face is at Book of Face is acting up. Good topic. Thank you. Impair or empower, the choice is ours, not the matter, the country in which we live. Doesn't matter in what, yes. And that's the point. And let me tell you something. Empowering doesn't mean you deny, it does not mean you deny that all things are happening in this way. Sometimes when some things are happening and you think, okay, to empower yourselves, maybe it helps to prepare. Because when you're prepared, you feel empowered, you feel less stress. But when your mind comes on and it starts telling you stories about how things could blow up or how things could be like this, you want to stop yourself. You want to take the next best action for you. And for me, what I did is I started looking at everything, and I'm facing it looking at, is this a black swan event? Now, I want to let you know, the first thing I have is I have a tribe. I have a tribe of very smart people. I surround myself with very loving, kind, discerning, smart people. And we sat down weeks ago and said, what's going to happen with this? We sat down days and we all took an action. We all said, we're going to do this, then this, then this, then this, then this. This is how we're going to help out. This is how we're going to hold our mindset. And I'm fortunate for that. But the first thing you have to do is know where your tribe is. You see, in the Smart Life Club, we talk about things that are fluffy and lovey and kind. But the truth is, when it comes down to it, somebody's got to be willing to say, look, it's time to get serious right now. I've watched very spiritual, wonderful people go through mudslides, go through and lose their home to fires. It doesn't matter how spiritual you are. It doesn't protect you from what's going to happen in the world. It makes you more effective at action taking in the world. It makes you more effective at being yourself and receiving in your heart the next best move to what's happening in the world. So if you understand that things are volatile, what's the first thing you need to do? Well, To me, one of the things that you want to have is flexibility and mobility. Flexibility and mobility. So flexibility, what do I need to have for that? Well, to be flexible, I need to be willing to drop my ego, listen to all the information, not choose a side, choose the middle road. Listen, I want to tell you, it doesn't matter. There is real news and fake news, and nobody's going to tell you what the difference is. They are not going to say, here's your fake news, here's your real news. They're going to let you try to discern. So right from the beginning, you want to have a group of people that are like-minded, that are like you, and just talk about it over a coffee and just say, what do you think's going to happen? And listen, what do you think this is going to happen? How do you think this is going to play out? And then you need to say long term, not next week, long term. How is this going to affect us 6 months out? How is this going to affect us a year out? Why are we projecting into the future then? We're looking for evidence. We're not looking for speculation. You're looking for evidence of the next best step. And when you have all the information in front of you, when you have all the information, as much information as you think, and you have that inner peace right here, your voice inside, your inside thing that we've been talking about for the last 3 or 4 days, that inner voice will talk to you and tell you what to do. It's going to tell you stuff. And whether you listen to it or not, it's like, yeah, I think right now is time to get some extra food, because if I'm hauled up in this house and I have to be hauled up in this house for 6 months, what would I want to have here? Well, I got my internet, so I'm going to download some ebooks, obviously, because I want to read. I'm going to want extra food. I'm going to want internet access. I'm going to want some extra medical supplies. Those are all basics. But when it's time to recover, what do you want? What do you want to have in place? When it's time for all of this to go away, there's going to be a rebuilding period. Whether that's rebuilding, and what do I mean? If you take a look at China right now, these people can't go to work. There's no gas at the gas stations. Most of them are not allowed. They're little curfews. They can't leave. They've even broken the streets. They've broken it and made barriers and blocks so you can't leave. So you are where you are. You aren't moving. It isn't going anywhere. So you are where you are. Eventually, the crisis is going to be over. And at that point, how are you rebuilding? Well, if I'm at home, I'm rebuilding an online business right now while it's going on, while I'm doing something. If you don't have the kind of lockdown they have, you have freedom still. You have choices where you can put into place things that are going to help you evolve. So once you have the tribe, the next thing I would do is make sure I'm prepared, have food and water and this and that. The third thing I'm going to do is I am going to grow my online income sources. I'm not going to have just one source. I'm going to have at least four sources of income coming in, so that you know how to go ahead and create more businesses, more products. So what do I mean by that? Well, I would have maybe like an eBay store, and maybe a product that a book or a publishing goes on to. And if not an eBay store, maybe a e-commerce site, something that helps you bring in income so you're not dependent on only one thing. The worst thing you can have right now is, this is my only source of income. This is my job. This job is my only source of income. If that folds because of AI, because of an app, because you get locked up in a house, your income ceases. The other thing is, whatever it is that you have in debt, pay it off and get going. So Nilu says, yes, know your tribe. That's right, girlfriend, know your tribe. Let's see. Karen says, in a challenging event, you need to be flexible and mobile. Yes. Mobile is when you see it coming, get out of the way. And like yesterday, the earthquake pictures that happened, this earthquake fault line has been moving. It went from Haiti and Cuba, or Jamaica and Cuba. It's the same fault line that's been shaking up Puerto Rico, that it's been going on and on and on and on. And that earth change right there created a huge push in the water. It was felt in South Florida as well. They evacuated buildings in South Florida that people were working in just to make it safe. Robin says it's right. And your tribe is your critical support system. Look at how you can work together, maximize skill sets, and what is each person responsibilities, especially your own. Now, here's what I want to say with that. Thank you for that, Robin. In my tribe, I have a medical person, somebody with EMT training, everything else. I have someone who has been trained by the U.S. government for shelter management. I mean, like in times that just explode, shelter management. I have someone who's got research and news development. I've got me and my skills, and I have someone else who knows how to reach out and create marketing and all of the things that we need to go ahead and find out. And each person on my team that I belong with, the team that I get to be with, everyone knows what their personal spot is. Everyone knows based on their research or what they've done, etc. And when they bring it to the table, you can have a vast global view of what's going on. I want to read up a little bit here because so many of you are absolutely talking a lot. Truth, flexibility, and mobility are critical puzzles. Marie Jo says, we've got to prepare for the sunny days ahead. Yes, we have to prepare for the sunny days ahead. And so that to me is why I would start 4 businesses right now. If you're going to be locked down or you're going to be in one place, take your mind and say, what's the most positive action on my behalf that I can take in this moment? And one of them is going to be managing your mind, because if somebody locked us down and said, look, you can't leave, it's there, blah, 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 you got to be in home, your mind could go, oh my God, it's Armageddon, it's really bad, something's wrong. Or it can go, all right, what's the next best thing I can do? What's the next best thing I can do to support my well-being? What is it that I can do to support my sunny days ahead? We've got all of those things right now. And that is, it's like everything is going to, even if it crashes, it doesn't stay crashed. We start rebuilding again. That's what we do. Thank you for that, Marie Jo. That is so potent and important. Karen says, when you insulate in home, you need food, water, and 4 streams of digital income, at least. Barb says, but will you have internet access? Yes, that is a good key, isn't it? That's the thing I've been watching with China. Do they have internet access? Will you have access to supplies beyond what you see in front of you now? Will you be able to access your funds? Plans must always include unplugged options. Barb, you get the winner circle today. Plans must always include unplugged options. So I was going to say, have a little cash on hand. Don't just have your credit card. Have a little cash on hand. And have the unplugged options as well as the plugged in options. That is so absolutely important. I'm going to read it again. But will you have internet access? ? Will you have access to supplies beyond what you see in front of you now? Will you be able to access your funds? Plans must include unplugged options as well. That is a beautiful thing, and it is absolutely true. Absolutely, you're right. Always redundant systems. Always having redundant systems. Truth. How current are your basic survival skills? Can you provide for yourself and your family without technology? Now, I want to stay here with Barb, because this is Barb saying, and I want to let you know that this is personal. This is just me. And I want to be as transparent as I can possibly be. I mean, a lot of you know that I am an ex-cop. Everyone knows that. So when we talk about survival skills, I have learned how to hunt. I have hunted. I have harvested. I've, taken an elk and we've created 300 pounds of meat. We have grown a garden. Do you have basic survival skills that provide for yourself and your family without technology? So we have an orchard in the backyard. We do have gardens set. We do know how to hunt. I do know how to use a gun, not afraid of it. In fact, I think every woman on the planet should be bearing arms because it is the right. Now, I know there's a lot of debate on that. And I'm going to say, I want to have your opinion and I want to have my opinion. And in this moment, I think a well-armed woman and a well-armed family keeps a safer family. That's just me. And so you do you, and I'm going to do me here. But I think the Second Amendment is a great privilege and a great right. And I will, over my dead body. And that's just me. Hashtag get real, says Barb. And I love that. You have to get real with what's happening now. Love that hashtag, Barb. Streams of digital income are only available if you can get to them. That's really true. If it's digital income, you have to have redundant systems. So I have digital income and I have cash on hand. And so what you have to do is a little bit of both. You got to make sure that you have both redundant systems, just like Robin says. I think that's so important. Barb, unplugged options are absolutely critical, especially access to money. And I want to add access to water, because when you're unplugged, it doesn't mean you have power. And everybody looks at it and they're like, well, my refrigerator and my freezer is stocked. Yes, until the power goes out. And then you have to have a barbecue and a block party. The thing is, what are your unplugged options? How are you handling those things right now? And a lot of times we don't think about that. We don't think about our future, how it's going to unfold, what it looks like now, what things are happening in the world. Now, you can be in the world, but you don't have to be of the world, right? So we know that. Part of being prepared is having discernment. One of the things you know about, it's like, in our area, I live up in the mountains, and the one thing you always have ready, no matter what, is a go bag, because forest fires break out in an instant. And I live by where the South Fork fire was. And when the whole town is up in flames and you need to go, you need a go bag ready to go for you, your animals, your partner, everything else. Whoever's there needs to be able to go. And you have to have that planned out ahead of time. You don't have to be scared. You just have to be rational. And because I have a go bag that I can just pick up and walk out of my house, I am a lot calmer when things happen. I have a lot more discernment if something happens. If I have to bug out, I have those redundant systems in place. And when you do that, when you are able to act on your own behalf, you calm down. If you're not able to act on your own behalf, that's when panic starts. That's when you start worrying about things. But if you can act on your own behalf, you are in good space. Hey, nice to see you. Good morning, Brandon. It's great to see you. Or good afternoon where you are. Robin says, MJ, that's great to remember that this isn't about being alarmist. It's about prep. Like having an umbrella for a rainy day while enjoying the sunshine in the moment and expecting the sun to return later, whether today or tomorrow. That's correct. It will. You have to understand the difference between a storm and getting yourself through a storm and living your life. And I think Marie Jo just put that out. You have to prepare for the sunny day coming. Well-armed women and men are critical. I agree with that, Karen. Brandon says, good afternoon. Hi, Brandon. A go bag makes sense. It's peace of mind. Yes, it's peace of mind to have a go bag. Don't forget to stock up for your pets as well as yourself, said Karen. And that is really important. But here's the thing. Right now, we kind of have a cacophony of things that are happening in the world. We have a lot that is happening in the world. It's going to affect our economic balance. It's going to affect our economy. I think one of the most best preps you can do is to empty yourself of debt. Empty yourself of obligation to other people and other people's demands that have interest rates on it. When you become debt-free, you can make the most beneficial decisions for yourself. Full stop. The enslavement to a job that you can't walk off of usually happens because you're targeting having to pay for these bills and expenses. And you then start prioritizing the bills and expenses over your own well-being. And that has to stop. It has to reverse. You want to make sure that you are able to handle your own well-being. And that means getting as much of that out of the way as you can. Barb says target practice is critical, whether it be for survival or mastering financial success in business or investing. Ooh, I like that. Barb, I'm going to say that again. That was fun. Target practice is critical, whether it be for survival or mastering your financial success in business or investing. That's correct. I really think that. Tina says, hi, Tina, by the way. I'm so glad you're on. I didn't know you were here. Listen, if you don't put your name down here, it'll show me there's a lot of people on, but I only get to see the 9 people that are participating. It'll say, Vickie, there's 50 people on, but only 9 are speaking. I know you're out there. Come and join us. Be in the conversation. So debt-free is one of the best, most satisfying goals you could ever achieve. I love that. Robin says, oh, great reminder, Karen. They are family and part of the tribe too. Yes, I want to let you know my dog is my everything. You betcha, Barb said everything. Target practice. Now that's true. If you own a gun and you don't know how to use it, you are dangerous. Full stop. If you don't go and you can't say, oh, well, I fired it about 2 years ago. No, it needs to be practiced over and over and over again. There are safety courses. There are everything you can do at the range. Do not get rusty at your skill sets. Do not get rusty. It's kind of like, would you rather be treated by an EMT who's been working for the last 5 decades in the field, or the EMT who got their EMT license and doesn't work in the field at all? Which one would you rather be treated by? You want the one that has experience. Everything we're talking about here needs experience. This is going to be a tumultuous decade. It's going to be the most volatile and tumultuous decade because we have new systems coming in place. We have job losses that are going to be huge as AI comes in and robotics comes in and all these things come in. What is going to happen? If you look at things, you're going to feel a sense of displacement, possibly. Like right now, I know that big California fire that happened that wiped out several of my very rich friends' homes that were really well off, $1 million homes, completely gone. If it's like if you're wealthy, it doesn't mean that even Oprah had the mudslide go into the back of her house. If you're wealthy, it doesn't make it so that you're not in harm's way. You don't know what's going to happen and when. You just want to be more prepared for that. Nilu said, good example with the EMT. Thank you. Experience and skill building. Always experience and skill building. That's correct. Barb, being an experienced shooter with ammunition is critical. Yes, I would agree with that. I wouldn't just go, hi, I'm going to go buy a gun and fire it once. You need to fire it over and over. You need to clean it. You need to pull it apart. You need to know how to keep it safe. You need to keep it away from your children. Everything about having firearms is a responsibility. It's a responsibility. So if you have it, don't like, hi, I have it. You got to know how to use it. You got to know when to use it. If you're going to pull it out, you cannot be, hi, I'm just threatening you. And you have to have an attitude. If somebody walks in and they're going to hurt your children and you have access to that and you can stop the intruder, you have to know why you're doing it. Your mindset has to be very clear about that. If it's not, then it's better not to have the firearm. It's better not to have that gun. If you get that gun, you get a CCW class. You go out and you go become part of a range. You get out there and you do the things necessary to be a good citizen with that firearm. Nilu says, keep your skills sharp. Get the habit of improving your skills consistently. Yes, whether that's, if you don't have somebody who's at least first responder trained, get somebody there in a first responder trained first aid class, EMT, get someone there in your group. Donald says, Hi, Donnie. Take a moment and reflect. Find that space inside you. There is a reason this is happening to all of us. It is a global event reminding all of us that all of us are human. We're all connected, and how we move forward after this is the most important choice. Will we understand this is a pivotal point in our consciousness as a human race? Wow. That is truth and amazing right there. I want that. Let's read that again. Let's take a look at that again. This is from Donald Gifford. He said, take a moment and reflect, contemplate, sit down with, meditate on. Take a moment and reflect. Find that space inside you. There's a reason this is happening to all of us. It is a global event reminding all of us that all of us are human. We're all connected. And how we move forward after this is the most important choice. Will we understand this is a pivotal point in our consciousness as the human race? Oh my gosh. That's melted my heart. And I think that's so discerning, Donnie. Thank you for that. MJ, Mary Jo says, Mother Nature does not discriminate. Be ready no matter what. You know, Marie Jo, I don't know if you're as old as I am, but do you remember that that commercial back in the 70s? It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. And she was like, that's what that reminded me of. Mother Nature does not discriminate. Be ready no matter what. Thank you for that. Donald, you're right. There is only one race, and it's the human race, said Karen. And I totally agree with that, Karen. Thank you. Hey, Freddie, nice to see you on. You guys, we're over, and I'm going to just keep going today because we're over on this conversation, but all of you are pulling in. Nice to see you. Mama Bear is a nice phase for I'm going to rip you apart and eat your insides. That's right. There is nothing more dangerous than a woman with the children. There's nothing more dangerous in the world other than a woman with children or a father with children. Their protection instincts go up and they will rip you apart if you try to hurt their kids. We're all connected. Great point, Donnie. Tee-hee, you're scary sometimes there, Karen. Freddie says, love that, Donald. No matter how bleak things seem to be, change has so much promise and possibilities. Yes, it does. And maybe what you had once thought absolutely necessary for your life is just a thing of the past. Yes. Maybe that is so true. And you know, it's interesting, Freddie, because one of the things that's going to be happening here is the change. It's how we see each other. It's how we work together, operate, and our meaning that we give our careers. You know what? We aren't our careers. We aren't the success we have. We aren't the money we have. We are the humanness that we allow out, our vulnerability, loving, and kindness. You're right. So great to see you, Freddie, said Robin. So here's what I want to say. The world is tumultuous right now, and we've been talking about that for a couple of days. And your actions, your thoughts, everything you do, your mindset, it'll either impair you or empower you. Today, you need flexibility, mobility, redundant system, cash flow systems, both on and offline systems. You need kind of one foot in this world and one foot in this world. You need to have skill sets that are both new and practical, like medical skill sets. All of these things will help you in the eye of the storm. And know that everything is preparing you for a new sunny day. Don't forget to prepare yourself for that as well. How you do anything is how you do everything. It's time to meet the new and improved and evolving us as humans. I want you guys to say thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me. We're over by almost 10 minutes. And I love that everyone's so aware and awake and everything everybody shared. You see, this video goes out and now it's open to the public and everybody gets to hear and be and see and listen to all these wonderful, wise words and offerings that you gave today. And I want to say thank you for that. I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace out. Mwah! That's been the Coffee Break Show.